What's up, everybody? Lev Farmer 73 here. I had to think of that. Funny. Um, Lev Farmer 73 here. What's going on? I want to run something by you guys, and let's talk about the realization of said subject matter. Please look at the title, and I want to hear your thoughts. And I want to hear, we want to talk about realistic situations and outcomes of the title. I'm gonna welcome everybody in, and then we're gonna get right on it. But I can already tell when that algorithm is not on my side. I can always tell. So let's get right into it. It holds back for about 30 seconds to a minute, and then it floods everybody in. That's messed up. What's up, Toya? I don't even got my glasses with me. Let's see. The realist, how you doing? The gun guy again. How you doing, Keita? Fatima. All right. Who is this? D. How you doing? C. Francis. Kenyatta's Journey. All right. Lavender Dreams. Rich. What's going on, man? Major Smith. Is that Marjorie? Marjorie Smith. Hey, Joe. What's going on? Gratitude. What's your name? Gratitude Grace Garden. How you doing? I can't see y'all. I ain't got my glasses. Cassandra. How you doing? Talia. Brian Wells. I was about to call you Brian Wells. Brian Wells. Michelle Law. All right. Let's see. MK, how you doing? Monica, Sunny, all, what's your name? All Danny? Laurel, how you doing? Precious Sunshine. Precious Sunshine, how you doing? What's going on, my sister? Dave, how you doing? It's good to see y'all in here. I want to talk to y'all about something. I think we got enough people in here. Hey, Von Will, got enough people in here to get this party started. Do y'all think we should, I really should do a StreamYard. I'm trying to do this because I got to hit the road, and I got to be at Freedom Makers, and I'm trying to make it before it's too dark, too late. Hey, Lavender 9, how you doing? I'm going to ask y'all a question. How you doing, Key? Lady Dean, how you doing? For all the new people on my channel, and for all the new YouTubers, welcome. Introduce yourself. Welcome. For all the people that has a birthday I can't believe I'm saying August. In the month of August, please, if you have a birthday or know anybody with a birthday in the month of August, or if you just want to go and wish a happy birthday to all the August babies, please go to my community post and wish everybody a happy birthday, or tell everybody when your birthday is in August, or your family or friend in August. Wish them a happy birthday. I put my community post every month on the first of every month to wish everybody in that month a happy birthday. I'll give you my platform. I'll let you borrow my platform to wish people that you love or know a happy birthday. So please go to my community post and wish everybody happy birthday, or tell everybody your birthday. Can you do that for me? Bougie Prepper, how you doing, my sister? How you doing? Don't put it in here because nobody's going to see it. Go to my community post, and I have a whole birthday wall. Put it down in there, would you please? Don't put it in this comment section because nobody's going to pay it attention. I want them to get the real recognition that they deserve, okay? So go to my community post and wish that person a happy birthday, all right? Everybody that, remember, listen to what I just said. Go put it on my community post. Don't put it in here. Nobody's going to pay attention to it in here. Go get the just desserts you deserve, okay? Go over there, put it on the community post. All right. With that being said, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this subject before I leave. Okay, family. It has been brought to my attention that millionaires and billionaires and trillionaire, everybody got bunkers being built. This ain't nothing I seen on the news. It's nothing I keep hearing little chatter about. This is coming from a personal experience, and it's coming from somebody I know and love that saw something and showed it to me, and it's real. And the way I know it's real, because I've been there. I'm not going to talk about that because I don't want to get in no kind of weird trouble. But there are bunkers, survival bunkers, being made. And I'm not talking about you and me digging a hole. I ain't talking about you and me digging a hole in the backyard and putting a shipping container in it. I'm talking about some fortified, certified, epic building, small cities in mountains and under the ground. Have you heard of that? Have you heard of it? Yeah. You say, yeah, but wasn't sure if it was true. Yeah. I want to talk about, I'm going to say two things. Say there are several in Kansas. I'm not talking about the ones me and you build, or people have families that can afford it like us, go and have some company come put a little container down there and put a couple loaves of bread. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about those massive small cities that's being built inside of mountains, and small cities that's being excavated down inside the ground. Okay, I'm going to talk about, before I get to talking about where I heard it from, I ain't going to say where I heard it from. I'm going to tell you my experience, but I want to talk to you about this first. Years ago, I used to go fishing at this certain place. I'm not going to say where at all. And I know that sounds sketchy, but that's okay. I don't really mind. I don't care if nobody believes me or not on this one. I used to go fishing in a certain location. I'm not going to say city or state. I'm just going to say I was back home. Just because I was in Toledo, Ohio doesn't mean it happened in Toledo, Ohio, okay? I was in a certain place. And me and my friend used to go to this, what do they call them thing? A quarry. Hey, Unbiased. How you doing, sister? Me and my friend used to go to one of those quarries where they dig like limestone. Y'all ever seen one of them? Hey, Grown with Hudson. You ever been to or seen one of those? You ever seen one of those quarries where they're... Yes, it is hot. Yes, it is, Unbiased. You ever been to a quarry where they dig minerals, or they dig out whatever, coal, whatever it is? It's always a quarry, right? I need to know how many people have ever seen a quarry being dug out, like massive hole in the ground that they've dug out, digging for minerals or I don't know, diamonds, coal, whatever. Have you ever seen one of these? Me and my friend a long time ago said something, and it ended up being true. Now, if you've never seen a quarry is like the size, oh my God, it's like the size of a natural lake. It's like being on the top of a mountain where your car is, where the road is, and looking down into the Grand Canyon. That's how much man has dug out in a certain spot, right? They will dig and dig and dig with these gigantic earth-moving machines that you've probably never seen up close and in person. I'll be honest with you. I haven't seen another earth mover since I lived in the South. These earth-moving machines are the size of, literally, they're bigger than any truck you've ever seen, any dump truck, any bulldozer, anything you've ever seen. The size of these earth movers they're the size of buildings, like literal buildings. One of the tires that goes on these earth movers is probably the size of your house. And every blue moon, you'll be driving down the highway, and you will see a long bed dump truck, and it got one tire in the back of it. That belongs to an earth mover. And you will see a bunch of those trucks, one guy, one tire in it. Out of a whole semi truck, it only got one gigantic tire in it. That tire belongs to an earth mover. That's how big an earth mover is, okay? I've seen, growing up in Ohio and Michigan, Detroit, and all that, we see them all the time because it's a lot of quarries being dug up there. I remember going fishing at this certain quarry, and at the bottom of this quarry is so big, it's so deep. Once excavation stops, and I was at a quarry where excavation had stopped, okay? It had been stopped for years. At the bottom of that quarry is now a man-made lake that over time and over the years, that water gets deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper until that becomes an actual man-made lake that's just as deep as any natural lake, right? Okay. Well, we used to go fishing at this one quarry, and it had a lake at the bottom of that quarry. And the water was really, really deep. Some kids used to go down there, go swimming. The water was like pure blue and clear. I have never done that. I just wanted to go fishing. I remember before I moved out of town for good, I can remember my friend telling me, you know, they closed the quarry, because we were just talking, sitting around, drinking, and we said, man, we used to go fishing like crazy. And I brought up the quarry. You know, they closed the quarry down. Closed the quarry? What you mean closed the quarry? Ain't nobody allowed 5 miles in the perimeter of that quarry. You can't get close to it. Now, him saying people can't fish no more is one thing. Him saying people can't swim no more in that quarry is another thing. But you can't get in a 5-mile radius of the quarry. So I asked him, so what happened? Did they find radiation? Did they hit radiation, or did somebody get hurt or killed down there? Because people did used to die in that quarry. Did somebody get killed? No, man, ain't nobody allowed there no more. You can't get 5 miles close to it. Years later, now I'm living in Atlanta, Georgia by the time. You know what he say? Hey, man, I drove by that quarry one night. They down there doing something. They down there building something, or they done start digging again, something. But it's still, you ain't supposed to be up there. He said, man, they got security. They got guards everywhere. And if they catch you, you're supposed to be going to jail and get it's a felony to be there. A felony to be at a hole in the ground. Now I'm wondering, okay, did they find some diamonds? Did they find some gold? Is a gold mine now? They used to just dig up marble and limestone. So, like what's going on? Talked to my friend a little while back, now that I live in South Carolina. I said, hey man, whatever happened to that quarry? He said, man, it's gone. What do you mean it's gone? It's gone. I'm telling him, you can't get rid of a hole that deep. So what are you telling me? They filled it back in with something? It would literally take them probably 20 years to fill that back in. That's how deep and massive it was. It'll take them 20 years nonstop to fill that back in. He said, that ain't what I mean by gone. It's gone, like disappeared. And it looked like nothing ever happened. It almost happened overnight while you was gone. So with the more explanations I got, it was more like, so when you say disappeared, is it filled in? Because that's the only way a big, giant, massive crater in the ground can disappear. He said, no, they covered that boy up. They was building steel girders and everything down there. They was welding everything over the years. Did they turn it into a factory? He said, bruh, it's gone. They didn't turn it into anything. Now you can drive right where me and you used to drive and go fishing, and it's like nothing there. It's like a little store on top of it. So I say, you mean to tell me kind of like some Men in Black shit? He said, bruh. So what I'm asking y'all right now, and well, before I ask you this, I'm going to tell you what I always say to y'all when y'all say, you're going to build a bunker on your land, or you're going to build a bunker, and I'll be like, that's stupid. That's utterly stupid. And everybody that's building bunkers on their land at that price, you build a little room and put a little, you're a fool. I can tell you why I said that. I wouldn't waste over $2,000 building no bunker, wasting my time. If I'm going to build a bunker, it's going to be like a root cellar. It's going to be a storm shelter. It's not going to be a bunker. It's a difference between a shelter, a storm shelter, and a bunker. A bunker that the average Joe can afford ain't going to save you from anything. A bunker, remember, a bunker and a storm shelter is two different things. Most people, 90% of people, can't afford to build no bunker that's going to actually save their lives through a catastrophic situation, a flood, a earthquake, something catastrophic like that. A bunker that's going to save you from those type of things, or radiation, end of the earth, end of the world type situation, apocalyptic type situation. The bunker that you think you can buy off of Facebook Marketplace, and the bunker that you think you can buy off of Temu, or you'll go on one of these, you will see one of them videos on YouTube of dudes build bunkers for people. If you go and spend your damn hard-earned $50,000 to $100,000 for them people to come and build that for you, you are a fool. The only thing you just bought was a $150,000 storm shelter. It's not a bunker. It is not a bunker. And I see so many people asking me, you gonna build a bunker on your land? No. I will build a storm shelter. I won't build a bunker. You don't have enough money to build a bunker. I don't care who you are watching me right now. You could be one of the most famous actors out there. I bet you don't got enough money to build a proper bunker that's going to keep you safe. Yes, a Temu bunker. Go on Temu. Y'all go on Temu right now and go look at their apocalyptic bunkers. Go look. I think they something like $4.99 for a family of four. $4.99 for a Temu bunker. That could plenty of space for 4 people. That ain't it. I'm really in here just kind of asking questions. A real bunker, you don't know how they get in their fresh air. That's the problem. Everybody always talking about we ran our fresh air tubes out to. So if you need fresh air tubes to go out of your bunker, what if a damn squirrel feel like coming to make a nest inside of that air tube? What if the people that's looking for you find the air tube that brings in fresh air and releases exhaust? How safe is this said called bunker? Who's to say somebody won't drop poison gas down the fresh air tube? Who's to say? What if water covers it? What if water covers the fresh air inlet tube? Well, you just solved your own problem, didn't you? I think you just solved your own problem. What if water covers it? Oh, I think you're agreeing with me. I thought you was talking about that's the way to hide it. In the last couple of days, with the attack on our water system, you can expect an attack on our electrical grid. You can expect an attack on our infrastructure, our bridges, everything that keeps you alive. We can expect that now. In the midst of this stuff going on, we also have infighting right here in this country with the racism and the hatred. All of this reminds me of The Walking Dead. Because, you know, when you watch The Walking Dead, this ain't a TV show just about zombies biting people. As a matter of fact, any Walking Dead show or spinoff of The Walking Dead is not about zombies. It's about people. It's about how people interact while zombies are trying to bite them. Like it's like the Roman Colosseum, you know? You got lions over here trying to bite your head off. You got bears with chains around their neck trying to bite you. You got poisonous snakes, but then you got a gladiator with a shield and a sword trying to fight you man to man. That's The Walking Dead. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in right now. You got all these people trying to take your head off. You got people that do not want you to survive and do well. Then at the same time, you got a bunch of people attacking you just because they hate you because that's their job. And then you got stuff going on overseas. They can't stand you for what these people did. Do you think trying to build a bunker is a good idea? I'm asking. If you don't think building a bunker is a good idea, Do you think everybody should at least? Bouger says nope. I don't either. Who is this? You said yep. Okay. Marjorie says no. Chris says no. All right. Here's a better question. Okay. B Love says depending on where it's located. What difference would that make? Building a bunker. What do you mean depending on where it's located? A bunker, not a storm shelter. Unbiased says if they want you, they can come down there and get you. Amen. Amen. Do you think everybody, now stick with me on this one. Okay, I'm not even going to ask you. I'm just going to tell you. I think everybody should get their head away from building a bunker because that's not a thing. That's not a thing. That's not realistic. That's not real. That's not reality. But I do think that everybody should build themselves a nice, comfortable storm shelter. I think everybody should build themselves a nice, deep, waterproof storm shelter that can hold at least a minimum of 4 people for 60 days. And I'm thinking 40 feet is like a shipping container, 40 feet by 8 feet, 40 feet long by 8 feet wide, or 40 feet long by 16 feet wide, with a 4-person minimum, stocked with supplies. Bouger Pepper said, I like the storm shelter idea better. Unbiased, yes, storm shelter. You want to know why I say storm shelter? Is because a bunker that's going to withstand bombs, a bunker that's going to withstand missiles, a bunker that's going to withstand dynamite, and all of those kinds of explosives is not realistic. It's ridiculous. It's people in their fantasies, and they get too hard into the prepping game. And I watched a lot of preppers talk this talk, and they confuse reality with fantasy. And that's why we don't rock like that together, and we ain't in the same community, I guess, because that's a fantasy. Because they always talk about some, oh, I got a door over here, I can come out and shoot. I got a door over here, I can come out and shoot. Our oxygen is over here. Okay. All it would take is one flood, one good solid rain to literally flood you out of that little cheap, raggedy bunker that you built. That's all it would take. So the best thing is to be realistic and think about a storm shelter where you're going to be anticipating those type of things, right? I just been thinking about a storm shelter because a storm shelter is more realistic. A storm shelter can block you from a lot of this stuff that we dealing with every day right now. Let's think about it. We're hoping that we don't get blowed up. We always got our fingers crossed, hope we don't get blowed up and poison gas and stuff like that. So that's still some up in the air. We don't know, he say, she say. But a storm shelter, that's every single day. When I'm on Freedom Acres, tornadoes be so close to my land that I know I'm going to have to start on some sort of storm shelter. I know that. It's like, that's always in the back of my mind. I'm not going to be able to get away without doing it. because the tornadoes touch down so close all the time. And I've been in the middle during several live streams. If you remember, when I was in a tent, both times I was in a tent and those storms hit so hard and so furious where it started hailing almost golf ball size, ping pong ball size hail while I was in a tent during a live stream twice. And then another time I wasn't live. I just had, let me see, unbiased question. How would you get quality air in a storm shelter? Serious question, because no, that's a good question. See, with a storm shelter, that's realistic. You will try to have a tube being run out to bring in fresh air. That's a realistic question because it's just a storm shelter. Meaning, once the storm is gone, you want to get out of there, right? The things about the fresh air coming in to a storm shelter, you're going to want a fresh air pipe coming in with a fan attached to it. And then you're going to want another, it's just like your house. Then you're going to want another tube going out with a fan going out. That's your exhaust. It's just like your house. You may not know this. I mean, a piece of paper and a pencil. Let me show you something real quick, plumbing. So it'll make better sense if you plan on building a little storm shelter for yourself. Okay, this is what this is going to look like. Okay, this is your toilet. Okay, that's your toilet bowl right there, right? We all know that the water goes down, and the water goes down in the plumbing like this. Just like that, okay? You get on the toilet, you do your business, it go down the tube, and it goes down into the plumbing. You can't leave that like that, because what'll happen is, if you don't know, your boo-boo makes methane. Pee and poop makes methane. That gas is always rising, always rising. Wherever it might go down in the pipe, down in the sewage, that needs somewhere to vent that air, that methane gas out, or that could explode, literally. So what you have to do, please don't mention that place no more right now, please. What you have to do is literally put a vent. This is how this is done behind your wall, and you may not know it. There's a vent that comes off of that pipe that goes to the top of your house. That vent comes out, and that little pipe is sticking out the top of your roof, and you may not pay no attention to it because it don't stick out very far. All that pipe is to do is to vent off the methane gas that comes out of your sewage pipes. Okay? If you put a toilet somewhere and you don't put a vent on it, you have a very good chance of blowing up or catching on fire. Right. So you need a vent that's going to exhaust all of the methane that's going on down in this shelter. You need a vent that's going to, you're breathing carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, all this Putin, all of this bad air got to go somewhere. So you're going to want a vent system going out. Now, fresh air you're going to have that fresh air to at a lower descent, which is bad because if you start flooding, you're going to have a problem. So I would suggest make a fresh air vent coming in with a fan to it. A fresh air vent going out the other side of the roof with a fan that brings in the fresh air. Storm shelter. That's real. That's realization. 9 times out of 10, if you're down in this storm shelter, you probably won't necessarily need a system that intense. But if you want to, it don't cost that much money to do something like that. Okay. I had to pull out the paper and pencil for you. No problem, I'm biased, my sister. So I've been thinking about building a storm shelter because it's not going to be hard, right? It's going to be a little easier. Bouger says, I was wondering what all the pipes on the top of the houses. Now I know. You have a bathroom exhaust, you turn it on. Absolutely. And you want to know something else? You will see a bunch of those little pipes all over their house. For every time you see one of those little pipes all over their roof, that lets you know how many bathrooms they have. How many water type situations, sink, toilet. Everywhere you see one of those little pipes coming out the roof, that's what that is. That's a vent for a methane vent for water type situations. So if it's one on that side of the house, it's one on this side of the house, you know they at least got 2 bathrooms on either side of the house. Like I say, usually people don't even pay them little pipes. They only usually come out the top of the roof about that tall. People don't even pay them no mind. Somebody say you learn something new every day. I didn't know that. Yep. Simple. Do you think it would? I'm going to ask you. B Love said, true, I remember seeing him. I'm going to ask you now, everybody. With the way the weather been, do you think it's a good idea to build a storm shelter? Not a bunker, a storm shelter. Now, storm shelter and a bunker, storm shelters and bunkers, have I ever worked in construction? Kinda, I want to say. I wasn't certified, I wasn't licensed or anything like that, but I used to waterproof basements. I was 15 years old, but they thought I was older, so they gave me the job. I was 15 years old. I worked that job for like 2 years. And they thought I was old enough, and I wasn't. I lied on my application just so I can get some real money. I'm not going to talk about the company I worked for because I don't want them to get in trouble because they didn't know. I waterproofed basements and waterproofed homes. And part of waterproofing homes, sometimes, a lot of times, you got to do a lot of construction. You got to do reconstructing somebody's home. You just don't waterproof it. Sometimes, if that water has rotted out their basements and rotted out their studs and rotted everything out, we rebuilt everything and we ran the system in that house. So I'm not going to say I wasn't a contractor, and I didn't work for those type of contractors that build homes and stuff. But I did a little bit of everything. So I wasn't in construction, but my father was an engineer. Let's put it like that. So it kind of came naturally to me. So everything happening is either massive fires or flash floods. There's really not a shelter for either one of those. Now, you want to know something? What's your name? True. A storm shelter is. Now, listen to this. Now, not necessarily the flash flood, okay? The fires, though. Where do you think all of these forest animals go when it's a forest fire? Because soon as the fire is over, animals come back. The ones that don't perish in the fire, usually the ones that don't perish in the fire are the ones that live on the land. You know what don't get burned up? Everything that lives underground. Let me see. If you think about it, the heat from those fires, let's ask somebody that might know. Right, forest creatures run. You know what? The creatures that live in the forest, hey now, Katina Brooks, the creatures that live in the forest, they perish or they run to save their lives. Creatures that live underground are fine. That fire only heats up the ground so deep. That fire, all that heat is going up. The heat doesn't go down. So I would say a storm shelter still wins if it's deep enough. I'm not saying have a door right there, you know. I'm saying you gotta pass through a lot of stuff to get in there. So I just wanted to come in here and ask you. Oh, I see. Right. 70s and 80s, a lot of employers wasn't digitally. Yeah, absolutely. Everything was done by paper, and all it took was a good enough lie, you can get a job. Nobody's going to dig. The way they caught me was I was going to get a promotion. I can't make this up. I was going to get a promotion. And I had to give up my ID and all of that. And my brother was a crew chief, and they was gonna make me his supervisor. And I was like, I really didn't want to, because I knew if I had to do all of this, I was gonna get caught, and I did. But guess what? They said when you get old enough, come back. I had a job. I still got a job there to this day if I want it. You know, because I did a hell of a job. Trinice Mitchell, any advice for us who live in an apartment? What kind of advice are you looking for? What's your name, Trinice? What kind of advice are you looking for that you live in an apartment? Any advice like what? What about Survival advice if you live in an apartment. What kind of survival advice are you looking for because you live in an apartment? Uh, S. Green, I'm not even going there. That's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking. Because don't nobody want to hear the truth, and I'm not going to say it. What kind of survival advice would you like to hear about for people that lives in an apartment? That's your question. How best to prepare for whatever since I can't move? Okay, you have to define the word whatever, because I don't know what that means. That could be anything. So you have to be very detailed when you asking this question, because I could talk for another 20 hours. You have to tell me exactly what you're trying to do before I can give you advice on anything. Like, what are you trying to do? Before I give you an advice like that, I mean, listen, that's like this. That's like me asking you, how fast should I drive my car? Wouldn't you like to know what kind of car it is, how fast it goes, what kind of tires I got on the car, what's the actual speed limit, where am I going? See, all of that factors in. Unless you give me that information, your question doesn't make any sense. Like, how should I prepare? Prepare for what? Prepare to take a bath? Prepare dinner? No, I don't know how to help you unless you got to give me more detail than that. That's a good question. That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know how to answer stuff like that. That's why I don't even answer it no more. Because nobody used to like, hey, Tracy, can you stop doing that, please? Um, I don't like telling people get out of apartments anymore because they don't want to hear me. So I just, you know, I'm gonna tell you this, and what you're going to start getting from a lot of preppers, you're going to start getting a lot from people in your life, content creators, all of this. You're going to start getting a lot of listen. Good luck, because everybody has been warned about all of this for 20 years plus. It's been longer than that, but for 20 years, the reason I picked 20 years is because a lot of y'all were born 20 years ago. And you've been told by OGs, elders, it don't matter. Even if you live in a neighborhood or your circle is a bunch of people that don't care about stuff like this, you got social media in the last 20 years. And in 20 years, you've been hearing about these situations that's happening right now. And you should have at least paid attention to it and did a couple of different things. Whether, I'm going to say this, preparing for bad events has no consequence. I want you to think about that. If you, not me, if you store away cans of beans, bags of rice, canned goods, canned meats, what would it hurt? I'm asking. If you put food and supplies and water away, when people in your household gets mad at you for doing this, why are they mad? Like, what is it hurting? So to me, I always felt like you just don't care about your well-being. Because putting a can of beans and leaving, look, this is what I do. I'm talking about my normal living, because I'm not going to talk about how I do stuff with the way I do things, but maybe for you, right? If you got one can of beans left in the cabinet, don't eat that last can of beans. I'm not talking about nothing that's happened or nothing. Don't eat your last can of beans. Go buy more cans of beans. Make sure you buy 5 cans of beans. No, 3 cans of beans. Nope, 4 cans of beans. I want you to buy 4 cans of beans. If you only got 1 can of beans up in the cabinet, go buy 4 cans of beans. Why? Because now you can eat that last can of beans and store up 4 more. Never get down to your last. Save up 2 cans of beans next time. Go to the store, buy 4. Blam. Now save 4 cans of beans. Leave that in the cabinet. If you don't know how to prepare for a rainy day, because see, I think we all get confused when we start talking about prepping. That word has been thrown around really loosely, and it's really irresponsible. So what the words that you are used to hearing and saying is saving up for a rainy day. Saving up for a rainy day. So don't eat all your freaking beans. Don't eat up all your rice. Don't eat up all the flour. Don't eat up all the sugar. Just go buy another bag. Don't wait till you down to your last scoop of food before you go purchase some more. Just wait it out and go get some more food. Right? So I don't know, when people ask me, how should they prepare when they live in an apartment, I'm reluctant to answer that anymore, because you don't want to hear the truth. If I've been telling people the truth for years, and they don't want to hear it, and now I'm cool with that now, because what you're going to start getting from a lot of people that's already been doing it, they got theirs. If you don't want to listen to reason, good luck. You're going to start hearing a lot of people wish you well. You're not going to keep hearing a bunch of warnings. You're not going to keep hearing a bunch of people saying, shh, be quiet, watch out, watch this. You're not going to keep hearing it. You're not. Everybody is pretty much, if you listen. Hey, y'all, get this. Remember back in 2020, 2019, all of those prepper channels, prepper TV shows, prepper movies. Remember that? Do y'all remember that? You couldn't turn the TV or turn Netflix on without a prepper movie, prepper channel. You couldn't look on YouTube without a prepper popping up in your video, in your feed. Where they at? I can tell you where they are. Those people on YouTube that used to talk about prepping all the time, they're still in the exact same place that they've been in all these years. They're tired of talking. It's starting to come down to the wire, and people are getting to a point where they're like, good luck. And here's the other part. Some of those prepping channels, went crazy and start telling you nonsense and lying, and they had their channels taken down. But you know what made those channels so popular is the lies. The lies and the extremism of what they were saying. And every day one of those prepper channels told you your head was going to blow off. Every day. Every day they said this. I have a source. I have an inside source. Every day. They did a video every single day, and every single day, their inside source from inside the government that they can't speak on told them that everybody's eyebrows is going to get cut off and painted back on every day. Every day they said something, we was all about to die. Every day. And it got to a point where that wasn't working well enough. So they started getting extreme with it. Oh, there's been sighting. Oh, wait, this just in. There have been sightings of alien spacecrafts landing in Utah. And oh, there's another one now dropping down in the center of the ghetto in Houston, Texas. Those preppers are gone. The normal people, the average people, the average preppers, Bouger says, yes, they do live. That's why I don't watch them. Absolutely. It was so crazy. And I'm going to tell you this. The normal, average, everyday preppers like me that told you, hey, learn how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. What do you think we should do about apartments? Get out of them. What do you think we should do about the city? Get out of it. You know what I heard? Pushback. I'm still hearing the message is still the same. Find somewhere to go. Find you some land. Find you some land. Put supplies on the land. And you don't have to live on the land. You can have a place to run. Have a place, a meetup place to go if it really hits the fan. Nobody want to hear that though. They want to buy shoes. They want a new car. They want clothes. They want jewelry. I can't do anything about that. I said, get solar. Invest in solar power. So I'm at a point now where I'm like, hey, good luck to everybody. I'm going to keep on doing what I do and saying what I say. But I'm not, as y'all can see, not going as hard as I used to, because it's like, listen, I did what was told of me. Let's see what this one is. It says, I was told I don't need to do all that. called crazy because I'm practicing protecting my house. I hate to hear that. I'm sorry. I hope the person that was calling you crazy ain't somebody near and dear and close to your heart. I don't know what I would do if somebody that close to me treated me like that for trying to help save the family. Natasha says, I have stopped telling people, especially family. The real moving is that it's here now. Absolutely it is. I will say this. We're living in a time right now, listen, right now, if you do not have anything to protect yourself, and I'm not just talking about underground shelters, bunkers, if you don't have a way to protect, if you do have a shelter, if if you do have a shelter, learn how to protect it. If you do have land, put things in place to protect your land. That's all I can say. Don't anybody, let me see. Yeah. Don't anybody engage that troll. Nobody engage the troll in the room. I mean it. Don't say their name. Don't engage them. Don't acknowledge the trolls in the room. Okay? There's going to be people here, and I'm not getting rid of them. I'm going to just let them run their mouth. There's going to be people here all the time that want to scare you away from doing the right thing. And the reason I'm leaving them here in the chat is so you can see that. You can see what we are up against. What we are up against, that's the real enemy. Okay? That's the real enemy. So again, I told you, we're not, remember in the beginning of this video, I said it's like The Walking Dead. You're fighting the zombies and trying to stay away from the zombies, but at the same time, you're doing a lot of infighting with ignorant ass human beings that's left over on this planet during a post-apocalypse. You pretty much got the zombies, you got them nailed, no pun intended. You done got a zombie figured out. They walking slow, they stink, aim for the head. Right? It's the people that's still alive that you have to worry about. It's the people still around you that you have to, you know what a zombie's intentions are. They want to bite you up, right? You already know how to figure that out. Aim for the head, right? But with human beings, trolls, they want you just as bad as those zombies do. But they're not as predictable. And they're not as trustworthy. You can trust that a zombie just want to bite you. But you don't know the human nature of other people. You don't know the nature of human beings. And just because they used to be a certain way does not mean they're going to still be that way once they've been through their trauma. So they will need to be vetted even more so, whether you know them or not. So that's why I leave the trolls in my chats now. So you can see the enemy just ain't the people that's running this country. The enemies are right here amongst us. And they pretend to like you. They pretend to want to be near you. They pretend to want to help you. And those same people, they pick your brain and try to get all the information out of you. They sit there and they ask you a billion different questions trying to figure out who you are and where you are and how you are. And then they turn around and turn that against you. All that information, they use it against you. And then make you out to be the one that was the real bad guy. See, I could have engaged these trolls in this chat right now about the things that they're saying. But what they want me to do is fall off my damn totem pole of helping people. So I'm going to leave them in the chat so you can see them. And I promise you, if you engage them, if you talk to them, you'll be the one that I send to the cornfield, not them. Okay? Just because I'm asking you, please, don't take your attention away from reality. What I mean by that is, same thing out here in this world. Look at all the stuff that's going on, taking your attention away. Taking your attention away from the truth. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to end this video like this. I think we all need to start looking into building storm shelters because it's more realistic than building survival bunkers. It's not realistic. Okay? That's it. That's all I got. So let me see. All right. Any questions? You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Does anybody have any questions? Nope. Okay. All right. So let me get on the road. I see y'all at Freedom Acres. Oh, that's a good one. Somebody said they still haven't given. Oh, I like that. We still haven't disclosed the location of our rural property to family. Guess what? Can I give you a piece of advice? Not you, because it sounds like you on the right track. If you purchase land, you better be careful. If you purchase land, you better watch who you tell where it is. I'm not playing. I have not told nobody this whole time, and there's a reason why. Don't tell nobody where your land is. Even some hey, a lot of my family don't know where it's at. A lot of family don't know how many acres I have. Family, friend, nobody knows that, but family, no. Because just because we have the same blood running through our veins does not mean we're on the same mental level as far as what we feel is right. We may disagree on all of this. I don't want to have a debate with you about how to live. When the shit hit the fan, I do not want to have a debate with anybody about what's the right way. I don't want to have a debate with anybody about rations either. I'll be damned. I have a conversation about rationing. Like who gets more food and who gets more water, we're not going to have that conversation. I'm not going to ever raise my voice about that. I'm never going to have to start and put my foot down about that either. It's not going to happen. I built it. Nobody is helping me do anything. I did all of this work. While I'm sitting here doing all the work, everybody else is sitting around pretending that they don't see what I see on the news and in the politics and the state of the world, and they don't see the weather, and they don't see the hatred and the division, and they don't see everybody around me pretending none of this stuff is happening. I been seeing it, and I have been preparing for it for a very, very long time. So I will not debate anything with, listen to me, look at me, look at me. I am the captain now. I will not debate anything with absolutely nobody but the Most High. And I ain't gonna debate him on anything. But as far as mankind, oh, I won't have a back and forth conversation with anybody about how things need to be done at all. If I ask for advice, great, give it to me. If I don't, quiet. Because I'm going to tell y'all something about homesteading. I'm going to tell you something about owning land and making these decisions like building a bunker, building a shelter, putting a cabin on it, finding water. Listen, if you're the only one doing everything and then everybody else comes in behind you to reap the benefits of your labor, you don't get a seat at the table to decide shit on what happens from here going forward. Now, if I ask you for advice and I accept it, fine. Other than that, I don't need your input. I needed your input years ago once the land was purchased. I needed your help years ago when the land was purchased. But now that all the wheels done fell off the doggone wagon and everybody's scrambling for safety, now everybody trying to tell you the right way to do, man, move. Now this has turned into a different kind of conversation. No, you do not get a voice. I'm gonna tell you one of the hardest parts about building up land. If you end up doing it all by yourself, is you all by yourself should be the one that make the hard choices. Nobody else is on that council. Nobody else is on that board. Nobody. If you're doing everything your freaking self, nobody else has a say so. You got to say so when you chip in. That's one of the hard parts and the hard decisions that the person that's going to end up leading the situation is going to have to make. People ain't going to like you. People ain't going to like the situation. It is what it is, though. And those are the situations that people don't even realize, like the person asking me about how to prepare inside of an apartment. I can tell you already, the people that keep asking me how should they prepare inside of an apartment, you already don't have enough mental sense to even know where to begin in an apartment. Guess what? Here's the first piece of advice. If you want to know how to prepare in living in an apartment, a lot of people live in an apartment. How should you prepare when living in an apartment? The very first thing you need to prepare is your mind. Forget supplies, forget water, forget putting away beans, forget all that garbage. You gotta know, you gotta train your brain. You gotta train your brain before you start buying all this survival gear, solar panels. How do I do all this in an apartment? First thing you need to learn how to do is sacrifice. Clearly you don't. Second thing you need to know how to do is to say no. This is living in an apartment. If you want to know real, true, how to survive in an apartment, if your mind, if you have a bleeding heart, you'll lose. If your compassion knows no bounds, you'll lose. If you are always thinking about the other person first, you'll lose. You'll lose. Because you don't want to tell people no. You don't want to tell people to get away from you. You don't want to show people that you're ready to defend and protect yourself and your family. You haven't got your brain together first before you started buying a bunch of elaborate items that you think is going to help you survive in an apartment building. Your mind is not ready yet. Once you can tell, like somebody in this chat said, they said, somebody, I didn't read it all properly because I can't see. Somebody tells them that they're crazy. Somebody will not help them, yada, yada, yada. Get away from them. Tell them to kiss your ass. And this is why. Now, if it's something like, hey, I want to go to the movies on Thursday night, but you don't want to go. See, here's the problem. Here's the problem I have with that. That's understandable. Okay? That may not be that other person's cup of tea. But here's my problem with preparing the family for survival situations. Here's the problem. Whether you live in a house, land, bunker, apartment building, condo, it don't matter. If you have a significant other, or if you have a relationship, whatever it may be, and that other person is not interested in protecting this family by any means necessary, I don't know how you do it. I'm going to be honest with you. I've been married for over 35 years. You mean to tell me you're going to tell me that it's crazy for me to protect the family? We're going to have a problem. We're going to have a problem. I don't want to hear I'm going overboard. I don't want to hear this is crazy. I don't want to hear I'm doing too much. I don't want to hear that's unnecessary. I don't want to hear that's uncalled for. I don't want to hear none of that if you ain't helping me do jack. If I'm not spending your money either, I don't want to hear that. So if you live in a household and that whole household think that you're nuts because you are trying to protect them from a catastrophic situation, everybody can kiss my ass. From now on, I won't save no beans for you. Now that's what I know I'm getting into some relationship stuff, but hey, it is what it is. Look, if it get to a point, and I'm gonna give you some relationship advice. I'm not good at it, so take my stuff with a grain of salt, okay? If you're in a relationship and your significant other or your girlfriend or your husband or your wife, whatever, they tell you that what you're doing trying to save the family from a catastrophic situation is crazy. I want you to ask them a question then. That question is this. Okay, you think it's crazy, you think it's ridiculous, you think it's overboard, you think it's uncalled for, right? Would you rather I not prepare for you then? If your significant other thinks what you're doing by preparing and saving food and storing water, yada, yada, is insane, then ask them the question. It's not a bad question. Well, would you like it better if I don't prepare anything for you? Because I'm spending my money. So should I just prepare for me and the kids or what? Simple question. Don't need argument. It's not a back and forth conversation. It's simple. Simple question. If you don't like it, is it better if I just prepare for me then? Meaning, now the second question is, so if I'm going to be just preparing for myself, if something were to happen, what are you going to do? Because I'm doing this over here. Clearly, we believe in two separate things. And if you ask me, man, hey, man, this is like religion. This is like religion or spirituality. We believe in two entirely different things. And if we can't make it coexist together, we got a problem. Because what I'm trying to do is save your soul. If you don't want me to help you save your soul, then, I just need to know. Just because, you know what, I'm going to tell you this. True story, and I'm glad I said this, because it's the same thing when people go to church. It's people that go to church, it's people that don't. Live in the same household, husband and wife, right? Husband and wife. Husband don't go to church. Wife goes every Sunday, every Wednesday or whatever, right? Do you get a divorce? No. You have to meet on common ground. Like, listen, that's not my thing. Okay, cool. Do you mind if I do it? No. Go ahead. Can I pray for you a little bit? Sure. I don't mind. I'm not going there, though. Simple. Everything's solved. Solved. But it couldn't be me. I'm just telling y'all right now, it couldn't be me. Because I look at it like this. Keeping your family safe is part of your parental duty. It's especially the duty of the man, the husband, the father. It's especially your duty. But a woman, absolutely. You are the nurturer of the family. I'm not making this up. You are the nurturer and the protector of the children of that family. So, if you don't think putting a can of damn beans away, I didn't say go out here and start acting like doomsday prepper people. Somebody watched that TV show and got the wrong idea. You went down there and you watched a doomsday prepper on the History Channel, and you saw a bunch of lunatics that are being falsely directed. Let's get something straight. Let's get something straight. Those TV shows, those producers say, yeah, that's a little boring. Can you act like your car just fell off the road? And then the next thing you know, I'll never forget this one. There's 2 episodes that I remember that, to me, I said, they're ruining the reality of prepping. Even doomsday prepping, they've ruined the reality. I'm going to tell you the 2 episodes that I know that everybody thinks back on when they think prepping is stupid. The first one, the man that dug a ditch and buried about 4 or 6 school buses. He buried 4 or 6 school buses, welded them all together for an underground bunker. That's one episode that was so insane that I said, no, don't let people see that. The second episode that I said people are going to get turned off of the word prepping and prepper. They're going to think everybody that say the word prepper and prepping is crazy. The other episode was, there was this group of preppers, this family. You know what their prepping thing was? They were prepping Beehives. Beehives. Their way that they thought that they were going to survive the apocalypse was to strap thousands of beehives on the back of their truck and drive somewhere. They had nowhere to go, but they were going to take their beehives and leave just because honey is an all-around food. Honey is medicinal. Honey is a little bit of everything. I understood that take on it. But your only means of survival was to get some honey, take thousands of beehives, put it on the back of your pickup truck, and leave. No water, no food, no shelter, no clothing. Once they aired that episode, I stopped watching. If you don't believe it, go pull it up on YouTube. Go pull it up on YouTube. It'll blow your mind. Like, what were they thinking about? Those people wasn't thinking that. They wasn't that damn stupid. That's what those producers of that show told them to do, because whatever they was doing was probably going to be too boring for a TV episode. And that's why people start thinking preppers is crazy and ridiculous and overboard and overkill, because they watch too many of them garbage TV shows. Well, here we go. So, to me, if your loved one don't want to have anything to do with preparing for this mess that we're literally watching, you cannot deny anything we see right now. You can't deny it. You can't even say, guess what I heard today? No, because they've already seen it. These demons talk every single day, and everything that come out their mouth is evil, is pure evil. When I hear this kind of rhetoric, I prepare for the worst. What's not to understand? What's not to understand that these people literally want you gone? These people want us gone. Let me clear something up. Not just me, all of us. If you are not a millionaire, a billionaire, or a trillionaire, they want you extinguished. And all of y'all people that got like $1 million in the bank, you don't qualify for who they looking for to bring inside their bunkers in the mountain. You don't count. Just because you got $1 or $2 million, that's nothing. You will not enter the little mountain bunker because you got $1 million or $2 million in your bank account. You don't qualify. So you think you're better than the people with no money, but you're not. You don't get in the bunker either. You ain't got enough money to get in that bunker. Let me stop, because I could do this all day. Everybody, and plus it's getting late. I should have been gone. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. I am going to look into a shelter. Now, part of this shelter, I'm going to say this. My shelter, if I build a shelter, I will do videos on it, but I won't show its location. I'll only do videos from inside the bunker with a wall to my back. How about that? Okay. So, if I do decide to do such a thing, all right? Everybody enjoy your day. Next time I see you, I'll be on Freedom Makers. Leah Farmer 73. Everybody, stay safe, stay sane. I love you, and I'm out.